To begin with, I'm Parth. I'm from DU and I'm an applied psychology honor student. And I'll be presenting anxiety disorders with Priyanka here for the next 4 days, 3 days. Priyanka, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I am Priyanka. I am currently doing my BA honors from Banastali Vidyapeeth, or I am in my third years.
ठीक है. Let's just start off with the anxiety disorders. So before we do anything, just एक simple सा definition दे देता हूँ. Disorder is basically a continuous assessed mental issue that happens in an individual. DSM के हिसाब से कोई टाइम लिमिट दिया जाता है कि कब कैसे उस डिसऑर्डर को हम रिकग्नाइज करते हैं कि इस टाइम फ्रेम के बाद हम उस डिसऑर्डर को मानते हैं कि एग्जिस्ट करता है इंसान के अंदर एंड सिर्फ एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट ही वैलिडेट कर सकते हैं कि वो है डिसऑर्डर.
So basically, in the most simple terms, anxiety is our mind and body's built-in alarm system. ठीक है, it activates जब कोई भी danger होता है, and it's not necessary कि real या immediate danger हो. Unlike fear, which responds to a clear or present threat, anxiety is rooted in what might happen. In small doses, क्या कहते हैं, it sharpens our focus और अपना performance boost करता है. But when anxiety becomes chronic or overwhelming, it stops protecting us and it starts interfering with our daily life. That's when it crosses into disorder. Next is क्या कहते हैं, fear or anxiety. Does anyone know, like in basic terms, what it is? Fear और anxiety के बीच में difference?
I mean, it's very obvious. Screen पे भी लिखा हुआ है that fear is an immediate response, which is, of course, fear. तुम्हें एकदम से डर लगता है, पीछे गेट पे कोई खड़ा हुआ है, तुम्हें एकदम से डराएगा, तुम्हें पहले सडनली तुम डर जाओगे, oh my god ये क्या हुआ. बट अगर तुम्हें क्लॉस्ट्रोफोबिया टाइप जैसी चीज है, तो तुम्हें लिफ्ट में जब जाओगे तो तुम्हारे बॉडी के अंदर ऐसे फिजियोलॉजिकल रिस्पॉन्सेज होने लग जाएंगे, और या फिर कई बार सोचने से भी तुम्हें फियर फील होने लगता है, वो वरीनेस फील होने लगती है. So that is one of the main difference between fear and anxiety. Anxiety is more about the anticipation of the future, whereas fear is more about living in the present.
Thank you. Basically, जो fear होता है, that is something that is present in the moment. It's immediate, it's loud, or it's very necessary to protect you. Example के लिए, when a dog chases you or a car is speeding towards you, that's when you feel fear. Anxiety, on the other hand, is something that your mind makes up. It's anticipation of a threat. अब जरूरी नहीं है that the threat is real or not. It whispers worst case scenarios even when nothing is happening. We will move on to epidemiology. Anxiety is not something that is not common. It is present everywhere. Globally, over 301 million people are living with some form of anxiety disorder. That is about 4% of the entire population. It's not a new issue. It's growing. From 1990 to 2018, the number of people affected has jumped over 55%, and that's very alarming. Gender-wise, women are 1.66 times more likely to be affected than men. Different चीजें इसके लिए responsible है, like hormone factors, cultural pressure, and even diagnostic biases. So then when we talk about anxiety disorder, we are not talking about something rare or occasional. We are talking about a global mental health crisis hiding in plain sight. Next, there are types that Parth will take over.
Okay, so these types you're looking at, ये हमारा पूरा schedule समझ लो कि हम क्या सिखाने वाले तुम लोगों को for the next 3 days. And on a very simple note, each of these portions are related to anxiety. And anxiety से ही खुल के ये लोग specified disorders बनते हैं, ठीक है? Separation, specific phobia and selective mutism is today's agenda. हम ये 3 आज करेंगे. Agoraphobia, panic disorder, social anxiety disorder will be next. And उसके बाद सबसे last में generalized anxiety disorder, substance medication induced anxiety disorder and anxiety disorder due to another medical condition करेंगे. On a general note, हम लोग एक बार पहले बता देते हैं, यहाँ पे generalized anxiety disorder is usually the most common one you will ever see, ठीक है? Medication induced really just depends on what medicine you're talking about, हम वो define करेंगे उस दिन. And anxiety disorder due to another medical condition will be slightly mentioned in all of the meetings actually, but primarily हम लोग देखेंगे उसको जब वो last day पे हम सिखाएंगे. Panic disorder is a very very common one, and ये वाला I personally will tell you, please रुक जाना, क्योंकि स्पेसिफिकेशन ऑफ पैनिक डिसऑर्डर फ्यूचर के लिए बहुत काम की चीज है, ठीक है। अगोराफोबिया इवन दो फोबिया है, वो एक स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ फोबिया है जो बहुत ही मतलब लाइक कॉमन है एंड इतना मतलब रेलेवेंट है कि तुम उसको डिफरेंट लाइक कैटेगरी ही दे दो। डीएसएम ने खुद एक इसके लिए सेक्शन बनाया है, इवन दो फोबिया के अंदर आता है। आज के जो 3 टॉपिक्स है हम एक एक करके से पहले समझाएंगे, एंड राइट नाउ हमारा पहला टॉपिक स्पेसिफिक फोबिया पे होगा। बट बिफोर दैट आई वांट टू गिव अ स्मॉल लिटिल डिस्क्लेमर। दिस इज समथिंग we should mention beforehand because this is technically the first class we're going to talk about when it comes to any of these disorders. DSM-5 TR is a clinical tool used by professionals, ठीक है। हम सिखा रहे हैं एंड सिखाना चाहिए for anyone who wishes to learn about psychology, जिससे उनका फ्यूचर में मदद हो। कसम से कह रहा हूं, कल जाके अपने दोस्त को डिप्रेशन मत डायग्नोस करना, ठीक है। कल मुझे ये नहीं सुनना चाहिए कि भाई किसी को मूड स्विंग्स हो रहा है, तुमने बोल दिया भाई इस बंदे के पास डेफिनेटली कोई ना कोई पर्सनालिटी डिसऑर्डर है। नहीं नहीं सर, वो पर्सनालिटी डिसऑर्डर नहीं है, आप लाइसेंस थेरेपिस्ट नहीं हो, ठीक है। कम से कम मास्टर्स कंप्लीट करो साइकोलॉजी में, उसके बाद किसी साइकोलॉजिस्ट से निकाल लो कि मैं साइकोलॉजिस्ट बन सकता हूं, उसके बाद बोल सकते हो कि हाँ मैं किसी को डायग्नोस करूंगा, ठीक है। उसके लिए भी बाद में जाके तुम्हें टेस्टिंग करना पड़ता है अच्छे से कि इस टेस्ट के थ्रू तुम्हें पता चला इस बंदे के पास कुछ दिक्कत है। सो प्लीज, ये तुम्हारे नॉलेज के लिए ये सब कुछ, प्लीज डू नॉट यूज दिस एज अ वे ऑफ एक्सप्लेनिंग एवरीवन कि मुझे पता है तुम्हें क्या दिक्कत है। अब कैन वी गो फॉरवर्ड फॉर स्पेसिफिक फोबिया?
एक मिनट रुकना, before I let Parth finish it. He said it in a very funny way, and he said it the way I really wanted someone to say it. But this is something I really want it to be out, that do not take these study groups for being a specialist in the field. We are not giving you authorized with. That's why I don't offer certificate for this one, because मुझे पता है वो certificate को कहाँ कैसे लेते। For teaching we are giving a certificate, but not for this. Learning process के लिए use करो. This will help you in a hospital setting, different setting, and it will really help you. So understand the value. Disclaimer is important. Future reference में we are going to keep that disclaimer.
Thank you, Bhumi. Okay. Now, phobia. Phobia in a very specific terminology में बोले, then it's a fear or anxiety which is about a specific object or situation. अब इसका एक जो criteria है वो है कि it's irrational. अब irrational का समझाता हूं मैं। Me personally, मैं snake से नहीं डरता, मैं भालू से नहीं डरता, मैं इंसान से नहीं डरता, पर कसम से कह रहा हूं अगर तुमने मेरे सामने एक हनी बी या वॉस्प लाया, मैं दूसरी दुनिया में मैं पूरा प्लेनेट छोड़ के भाग जाऊंगा, ठीक है। मुझे बहुत डर लगता है वॉस्प या बीस से। अब वॉस्प एंड बीस से मुझे डर बहुत लगता है, बट whenever I see a wasp or bee, like for example बड़ा सा रूम है मेरा, एंड अगर मैंने देखा कि वॉस्प या बी है वहां पे मेरे रूम के बगल में कॉर्नर में, मैं शुरुआत में डरूंगा, बट मैं चिल्ला के भागूंगा नहीं। वाई? बिकॉज मेरे अंदर से मुझे पता है कि वो जो छोटा सा इंसेक्ट है वो वहां पे पड़ा हुआ है, ठीक है, वो अपने मस्त में उड़ रहा है। हाँ, मुझे डरा के बैठा है पर उड़ रहा है अपने मस्त में। तो this is not what you would call phobia. This is fear, extreme fear, but fear. Phobia समझा तो कैसा होता है? There was a case study given in America where a specific boy, Daniel, he had arachnophobia, very common phobia, which is the phobia of spiders. अब ऐसा नहीं था कि वो like spider देख के डर जाता था, नहीं। He would, if he saw any like insect or anything that had a specific structure, जिसमें 6 legs दिख रहे हैं उसको and एक body दिख रहा है सर के साथ, वो सही में जाके उस पे डरता था। And by the nature of phobia ना, तुम्हें अगर similarities दिखती है तब भी जाके तुम डरने लग जाते हो उस situation से। So फोबिया में डायग्नोस करने के लिए सबसे बड़ा बात ये होता है कि 1, it's irrational, 2, it's a very sudden and onset fear that makes you look a little insane, honestly, ठीक है। You don't have the rationality or clearance of thought कि तुम देख के सोचोगे नहीं मैं थोड़ा सा दूर रह सकता हूं, तुम सीधा डर जाओगे बहुत। और this can genuinely lead to panic as well. Panic mean that to the point that जब तुम्हारा body pretty much डर के साथ ना फंक्शनिंग उसका लाइक पूरा स्टैटिक हो जाता है कि ब्रेन एंड हार्ट फिर बहुत लाइक पंप हो जाते हैं। या तो तुम डर के मारे शॉक में हो जाते हो, या तुम्हारा heart में pain होने लगता है, but that's a very specific and very extreme case. Panic भी phobia वाले लोगों को ज़्यादा होता नहीं है. अब on a specific note, whenever you're diagnosing phobia in children, ये DSM में आपके लिखा हुआ है, बच्चे जो एटलीस्ट 5 years के हैं तभी जाके तुम डायग्नोस कर सकते हो फोबिया के साथ, ठीक है. 5 years से कम बहुत ही लाइक रेयर एंड बहुत ही यूनिक केस होता है, बट 5 का इसलिए कहते हैं बिकॉज साइकोलॉजिकली इट्स बीन प्रूवन दैट द ब्रेन डेवलप्स टू सच एन एक्सटेंट की यू कैन स्टार्ट एक्सप्रेसिंग योरसेल्फ टू फियर एंड एन आइडेंटिटी. इसलिए 5 साल की उम्र पे हमेशा देखते हैं. एंड उसमें क्या होता है ना, देखो तुम किसी बच्चे को देखोगे, बच्चे को गुस्सा में गाली नहीं देता तुम्हें, बच्चा गुस्से में टैंट्रम निकालता है, बच्चा गुस्से में लाइक पूरा शोर शराबा करता है. ये सेम चीज डर में भी देखते हो तुम. बच्चे जो है ना, they will cry, they will throw tantrum, they might even be frozen in fear. That's how they're affected by phobias. Okay, adults are much easier to look at because adults usually give an irrational behavior with such fear, but children are a little bit different. Okay. Another thing to be noted is that whenever it comes to like phobia diagnosis, it must be a psychologist must look after it for 6 months. That if a client is coming to them, वो 6 महीने तक देखते रहेंगी कम से कम कि if this person can be diagnosed with this phobia, ठीक है. And usually in such instances एक test भी दिया जाता है, but that's not relevant here. And now, when it comes to like diagnosing phobia के usually DSM जैसे 5 categories दिया है. First is animal. It could be spiders, insects, dogs, any of those. ठीक है. That's a very easy one to understand. Natural environment. Natural मतलब pure natural, like storms, water, heights, ocean. ये हो गया तुम्हारा the fear, phobia of all of these options. ठीक है. एक फिर होता है लास्ट में, एक और होता है मेडिकल वाला, जिसमें तुम्हारा ब्लड इंजेक्शन से होता है कि आई एम श्योर यू मस्ट हैव सीन सो मेनी पीपल लाइक हैव वेरी crazy reactions to just being given an injection. These reactions are not them being a child. These are genuine reactions of someone having a phobia to any sort of needles or medical procedure. ये तो मैं छोटा कह रहा हूँ, लाइक लोगों को तुम्हारे सर्जरी से भी होती है, तुम्हारे स्टिचेस से भी होता है. So such instances ना, you should look at these cases with a little bit sympathy and empathy. You should not say कि ये पागल है, इतना डर क्यों रहा है. Now the last two are a little bit like known. ठीक है, एक situational हो गया. Situational, I think many of you know this. How many of you know claustrophobia? Lily, you answered previously. Grace, you've raised your hand. I recognize you. ठीक है, Grace, give the answer.
So claustrophobia is basically fear, it's phobia of tight spaces, congested tight spaces.
ठीक है. Now I have a question to you,
short.
Grace. If
Yes.
I, for example, hate in my mind, if मैं सोचता हूँ कि if I will be trapped in a cave, does that mean I'm claustrophobic now?
You are being trapped in a cave, and that is something that fears you, gives you a fear.
I'm saying that I'm imagining being trapped in a cave.
No, I'm not sure of that.
Lily wants to answer this question. Take it, Lily. Answer the question.
So you are saying that you think that you are trapped in a cave and that is making you feel scared. Is that what you're saying?
Would you categorize that as claustrophobia?
Not really. I need other factors included in this as well. I mean, मेरे को पता होना चाहिए कि वो thought आने से तुम्हारे अंदर anxiety induce हो रही है कि नहीं. That is one of the biggest factors. Plus the intensity of the fear that is being generated or the worry that is being generated. I also don't know that. So you telling me is one thing, but for me to tell you and diagnose that, पहले तो अभी मैं diagnose नहीं कर सकती हूँ. But in future, if I have to, then I would need more factors. And no, I don't think so. I'll tell you that you have claustrophobia. Not yet.
Thank you. Okay, so you gave a good answer. You went a little off track. मैं थोड़ा सही समझाता हूँ. अब when it comes to say claustrophobia, I think we need to look at the fact that कि if I, in my head and even in general, I'm uncomfortable by tight spaces, that does not necessarily mean that I will have claustrophobia. It's like जो मैंने previously बोला था bees and spiders के बारे में. You can technically be uncomfortable to such tight spaces. I am genuinely uncomfortable with tight spaces. Whenever I see cave diving videos, ना मेरे दिल से like I like lose my brain cells कि why is someone doing this? Because मेरे को genuinely बहुत fear इन चीजों से. But I cannot categorize myself as claustrophobic because tight spaces are many instances. जैसे कि if I, for example, am in an elevator, लिफ्ट में तो बहुत लोग जाते रहते हैं. असली claustrophobic इंसान लिफ्ट में भी बहुत like levels of anxiety and fear पे panic करने लग जाता है. If an individual with claustrophobia is specifically in a forest, that still could categorize them, they could still feel claustrophobic. So what I'm trying to prove here is that when it comes to diagnosis ना, तुम्हें एक चीज का डर हो सकता है, पर फोबिया होने के लिए बहुत like intricate details होता है. तो अब कभी भी अपने आप को ये मत बोला कि मुझे ये फोबिया है. No. There are very specific circumstances कि तुम फोबिया बोल सकते हो. And I gave it four examples. The fifth last category ना, it comes under other, and other का मतलब ये हो गया कि it's a very very मतलब weird situation or weird instance, such as choking, vomiting, weird sounds, holes. Trypophobia एक है, which is specifically the phobia of holes. Something like this also exists, and उसमें irrationality वाला aspect भी is not usually seen. ठीक है? This other concept usually doesn't have the irrationality thing. That's why DSM ने भी इसको other से treat किया है. Bhumi, you have a question?
I just want to correct you on one thing. Let's not use the word weird. Let's use it unique. Let's just change the framing of the word, because it might be weird for you, but it is really really affecting someone's life. So it's a unique fear or unique phobia. Let's use that. Okay. Let's be specific how we are using a word as an aspiring psychologist. I really want you guys to understand that importance of that, right? Okay, Pat?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Sorry about that. When I used the term weird, I didn't mean it as a derogatory mean. I just meant it like just to explain to you guys कि कुछ चीज अगर तुम्हें समझ नहीं आ रही, it's a different circumstance.
I know.
Yeah,
but just
I get what you're coming
correct.
from. Definitely.
Get it?
Definitely. Yeah. Now, when it comes to phobias, we should also look at the fact that ki older people are genuinely less likely to have phobias, because phobia by nature ना बचपन से ही तो बहुत induce होता है. Usually by childhood, if you are triggered by any sort of instance जब तुम्हें डर लगता है, that can actually be a very big trigger to why you have a phobia in the future. Of course, many adults, many older people have like instances where they have phobias of many irrational objects and things, and उसका definition या like reason जो है वो case study के through ही पता चल सकता है, एक proper psychologist के case study के through ही पता चल सकता है. But ना बहुत instance में many brain studies have genuinely shown that the childhood is a very big factor when it comes to understanding how a person gets phobia. Next slide, please. Development and course. Okay. Yes, as I just mentioned, usually in early childhood, most cases develop before the age of 10. Median age of onset is 7 to 11. Median age, इन्होंने 7 to 11, I think I already explained this, of how usually when a child or when a human being starts growing their own identity, that's usually between the ages of 5 and 7. ठीक है? DSM में usually before the ages of 5 ही बोला है, but still 7 and 11 is also another term used. And like we see here, traumatic events and observing trauma in others. Yes, observing others. Children very much learn from observing others, including fears and behaviors. This is a personal one where my mother has explained to me that her cousin, mere mama, he specifically has a phobia diagnosed by a psychologist of snakes. I don't remember the specific ones. Kuch to tha, serpent. I don't remember the specific name, but snakes guy. And one of the reasons was that the story goes is how mere chote nana, mama ke uncle, he used to like play with lots of fake snakes with his family. Ek din kya hua? The auntie jo thi, uncle ki wife, she was actually like attacked by an actual snake. ठीक है? that actual snake incident, and my uncle, mere mama ji, he was like, I think 7 at the time, and he saw that incident, and तब से आंटी जी को तो वैसे ही डर लगता है, उसको भी डर बैठ गया. And that's an example of how observing others can genuinely give a fear. On another note, it could be also that you're observing someone with drugs and all, तो उसका भी डर लगता है. But this is a major example. ठीक है. Media coverage and informational transmission. Now, this is a more widely researched topic. अभी तो थोड़ा सा इस पे topic पे research चल रही है. But on a basic note, because of the way how fear and propaganda works in human beings, and how by the nature of humanity, we can be very much scared just by media coverage, it is possible that phobias can also be brought about by this. ठीक है? And of course, in many instances, we cannot tell how the phobia began. So वो treatment में थोड़ा दिक्कत कर देता है, but still, this is still a major way to understand how it develops over time. Next slide, please. Okay, risk and prognostic factors. Okay, so यहाँ पे temperamental जो है, temperamental basically just means that कि negative affectivity or behavioral inhibition increases vulnerability. Can someone explain to me what does these terms mean?
I can try.
So sorry, Lily. Before Lily speaks, मुझे बस पूछना है भाई, किसी और के पास पूछने कोई और समझा सकता है? No offense, Lily, but I feel like this is a group discussion. This is group study. I think more people should be involved in such an instance.
I totally get your point. Totally get it.
I'm just like pointing this out. कोई आ रहा है तो please बता दो.
Soumya wants.
I can
Okay.
give it a shot, but I don't think I can frame it in a correct sense. Temperamental is generally your affective, your affective component towards a particular situation or an object. Like if you have been taught to not like this particular object, you're more likely to maybe have an apprehension of that.
Thank you,
Well,
Shina.
well,
Bhumi, do you want to speak as well?
I'll give the other people chance. I really want to see how the group is. I will speak in between. I'll be here. But Lily, I'll give you can start with it. I'll ask other people, be little active, guys, because when your chance will come, then you would also like and appreciate someone to contribute. So if you're not active and you're not reading or repeating these topics, you cannot learn them. Let me be very honest to you. So if you don't participate in these things, it will take a little difficulty for you to understand and retail these topics in your head. Okay, really go ahead, but I would appreciate others to join in. Okay, not only Grace and Lady, other people too, right?
I can give it a try. So basically, negative affectivity is basically your tendency to be able to feel negative emotions more. Basically, my tendency negative emotions की तरफ ज़्यादा होती है. तुम negative emotions ज़्यादा जल्दी feel करते हो rather than positive. And behavioral inhibition increases vulnerability. I'm not really sure, but it's like it might mean कि तुम उस चीज की तरफ जो भी तुम्हारा फियर है, तुम्हारा फोबिया, उसकी तरफ तुम बेसिकली कुछ स्टेप नहीं ले रहे हो, कुछ रिएक्शन नहीं ले रहे हो, उसकी तरफ कोई तुम्हारा बिहेवियर एक्शन नहीं है, जिसकी वजह से विद टाइम यू बिकम वेरी वल्नरेबल टुवर्ड्स इट बिकॉज यू आर नॉट फिक्सिंग इट. I may be wrong in the second one. I'm not really sure.
Now, okay. I will give you all the benefit of the doubt. You guys did well as trying to explain कि तुम्हारे साइड से क्या लगता है तुम्हें. Just because देखो, such terms are usually not like very understandable इस case में. But Soumya mentioned that temperamental really means the affect part. So देखो, basically ना, when it comes to temperament is like a scale of how much emotional reaction you give to something, and negative इस केस में मतलब हो गया कि the negative emotions carried out by it, and behavioral inhibition जो हो गया ना, this is basically like where specific behaviors or specific like studies have found that high levels of risky behavior, high levels of pleasure seeking behavior with limited fear and limited shyness ना, इसका हो सकता है कि तुम्हें बाद में जाके risk बना दे. So some people like they're like big risk takers. Some people they like have by nature like बहुत pleasure seeking है, उनको फर्क नहीं पड़ता. तो that can genuinely like be a very big problem when it comes to creating a sort of phobia in your mind. Environmental, it's pretty self-explanatory. Parental overprotectiveness, early separation of loss, physical and sexual abuse, anything that can like have a certain impact on you by your environment, environmental risks, like तुम्हारे negative experiences के through, that will give you something. Separation के through, separation वाला तो तुम अभी सीखने वाली हो इसके बाद ही. Genetic and physiological, now this is a little bit sketchy, but it's still like very much discussed upon. When it comes to genetics, पहले तो समझ लो, it goes through the great grandfather. Great grandfather तक तुम्हारे genetics तुम्हारे अंदर रहते हैं. This can definitely be seen when it comes to any sort of disorder. And the same logic is applied for phobias. So in some instances, hereditability, fear does indeed exist. The statistics right next to it, animal 32%, blood injection 33%, and situational 25%, all exist. So that again is very much possible.
Could you please again explain behavioral inhibition? I got lost a little.
ठीक है.
Like
For
simple
example,
one-liner. हाँ.
अरे सिंपल सा बात है, सब लोग के पास कॉमन सेंस है, तू ये बता. हाँ नहीं, जब कोई risky
90% लोगों के पास होता है.
अच्छा, वो 10% जो है ना, जो बहुत रिस्की बिहेवियर्स करते हैं, रिस्की एक्ट्स करते हैं, लाइक कुछ भी अपने साइड से ना, कुछ भी प्लेजर सीकिंग, लाइक अपने थ्रिल के लिए जो भी करते हैं और बाद में जाके उसको पछताते हैं, द कॉन्सिक्वेंस, लाइक ड्रंक ड्राइविंग, समथिंग लाइक दैट. Such, this is behavioral inhibition. You're inhibiting a behavior which will later cause a sense of increased vulnerability, and उस बात से फिर तुम्हारा phobia बन जाता है. Cases with drunk drivers who have gotten serious injuries have shown that alcohol या गाड़ियों से फिर बाद में जाके the increased vulnerability part comes in, and then उसके बाद phobia बन जाता है गाड़ियाँ या alcohol से. So that's behavioral inhibition. ठीक है?
It reminds me of an example and a very funny one. I'm sorry that I'm interrupting you once more. It's like me sleeping deliberately, even though I know my exam is there tomorrow. I'm having Google. And then when I wake up, I'm like, oh shit, my exam nahi kara, and now I've created some sort of anxiety or phobia with sleeping.
But
It's actually there. There's an anxiety related with sleeping. Like people, they sleep and then suddenly
No, no.
sometimes they wake up out
No,
of
I agree.
anxiety.
So I
like
agree.
you
I'm saying
anxiously sleep. But I think the word maybe we can use here is the anxious instead of anxiety. I
Or
would
fear.
Yes, anxiousness is the state.
Yes,
Yes, you are right. I'm
something.
sorry.
I really would ask you guys and everyone. See, I am here to help you out, and as a mental health educate, I feel like this is my duty to make sure that the right framing of words, specifically the students of psychology are using, should be correct. So let's just stick to anxious. I get it. This happens with me. I related with your example a lot. But until we are diagnosed, let's not use the word anxiety. Let's use we are feeling anxious. Okay, cool. Hope that's not offensive, Lily, right?
ठीक है. Last part for my side here is that differential diagnosis. You will see this term a lot in the next 3 days. Differential diagnosis का simple मतलब है कि whenever you are trying to diagnose something, there's a possibility that उसके दूसरे चीज में diagnose हो सकता है या दूसरे ही चीज हो सकती है. ठीक है? So there are other disorders and conditions that exist in the world that could be the response that is being shown. ठीक है? So right now, for example, agoraphobia, it's specifically on the aspect of social interactions. तो वो तो बात की बात है, but it's something that can genuinely be categorized when it comes to associating or diagnosing a phobia. Same with panic disorder, same with social anxiety. With the extreme level of symptoms some people produce, panic disorder भी हो सकती है. And as we see previously कि किसी बच्चे को बचपन से ही separation दिक्कत हुई है, then we can categorize them with separation anxiety disorder. But there's also instances where separation anxiety का एक phobia भी होता है. That's separate. Obsessive compulsive disorder भी आती है इसमें. Obsessive compulsive is just that you have a very erratic behavior to be obsessed with a certain object or certain behavior or a certain action. And such is the examples for all of them. Schizophrenia is a very big stretch, but it genuinely does exist, where instances of where you feel like you're like thinking a little bit too much or you're getting a little too frantic, that can actually be categorized as schizophrenia as well. So such exist. I think there's another slide for this as well. Consequences. So basically, क्या होता है ना इसमें कि there are some consequences as well to having any sort of like phobia. ठीक है? Impairment in occupational and interpersonal functioning. इसका simple सा मतलब हुआ कि in your work life and in your social life there could be difficulties. Reduced mobility and functioning in adults. This is specified to the phobia, but in many instances, some people, due to the fear aspect, stop like properly functioning their limbs or their mobility. Avoidance of medical care, yes, that's very much prominent because they go, if you have anything related to the medical side, which is blood injection injury type, जो भी like medical procedures, whether stitches या injections, then you will be not going to any sort of medical professional. Dietary restriction due to the fear of choking or vomiting. Again, this is the specific one. But yes, if you are scared of any certain foods or any certain like instance of choking and vomiting, you're bound to not actually like take in any food. Increased impairment with multiple phobias. Again, multiple phobias is possible in individual, and उसमें फिर impairment just practically means that your stress levels would be so high that you practically won't be able to think. Continue on with the next slides. Grace, thank you.
Yes.
Question?
Sorry to disturb you. Yeah. So
No, of course.
in the previous slide, there was this where you said that you can have anxiety because of dietary restrictions due to fear of choking and vomiting. So does ARFID come under this? So it's avoidant restrictive food intake disorder.
Avoidant restrictive food intake disorder.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes, I don't
People
think
do
so. People do
Basically,
that. हाँ.
okay. So मैं समझा देता हूँ. Can we go to the previous slide as well? As you see there, eating disorders are also mentioned. So in an instance, comes under differential diagnosis where because we need to properly diagnose something, we cannot guarantee कि वो phobia हो सकता है, phobia से related हो सकता है. So in the instance what you're talking about now, it's a purely eating disorder thing. ठीक है, ये phobia के अंदर कायदे से नहीं आएगा because देखो, it depends. If you are scared or if you have a phobia of choking and eating, that's a phobia. But if you have avoidance eating disorder, उसका अलग ही procedure होता है, अगर वो eating disorder है, then वो है तुम्हारे पास. This is where the conundrum comes when it comes to psychologists. If it's a food related thing, then तुम्हें properly diagnose करना पड़ता है. This is why we kept the disclaimer in the beginning कि we as individuals cannot diagnose such things. But because ये दोनों different terms हो गए ना, different तरीके के हो गए, तो तुम्हें अपने as a psychologist, the psychologist will have to properly take time, properly look into the whole situation, make a case study, and then state where it comes from. And avoidance का ना, जो तुम दिखा रही हो, any sort of eating disorder always has one social psychological backing, and that is that insecurity comes in. So insecurity वाला factor भी बहुत आती है. तो I hope your question was answered.
Yes, it was.
Thank you. Comorbidity, so sorry, I cannot pronounce this. It just means that 2 or more distinct medical conditions in the same patient. So यहाँ पे ना, you can have multiple anxiety disorders, depressive and bipolar disorder. Many sorts of anxiety is also associated with depression. Okay. Substance related disorders like any sort of substance abuse can cause levels of anxiety because brain में तुम्हारा वो उसका frontal lobe में बहुत like damage हो सकती है. Somatic symptom, ये बहुत interesting case है because in many instances somatic basically means that when you feel like there's an issue but in reality there isn't an issue. So in such instances, because you feel like you have such a major issue, major problem, you can actually grow a sort of anxiety disorder. It's a very interesting phenomena. Personality disorder में क्या होता है, because of the constant change in your mind when it comes to the personalities, na, you're bound to like have issues with stress and anxiety. Okay. I think comorbidity समझ आ गई. Please continue on.
So the next disorder we're going to study is separation anxiety disorder. In basic terms, it is क्या कहते हैं intense fear. जब आपको किसी इंसान से या किसी एरिया से जिससे आप अटैच हो उससे दूर लेके जाए, ठीक है. It can be these individuals experience real distress when they think about being separated. It can be actual act, but सिर्फ सोचने से भी उनको distress होता है उसका. They might obsessively worry about harm coming to their loved ones, refuse to be alone, or go to sleep without them nearby. In kids, क्या कहते हैं, this starts at least you have to see it for 4 weeks ताकि हम इस diagnose को ले सकें. And in adults, it has to be 6 or more months. It's important that the reaction is clearly more intense than what's expected from someone's developmental stage. Basically, like अगर आप छोटे बच्चे को अपने पेरेंट्स से दूर लेके जाओगे तो वो एक अमाउंट ऑफ फस क्रिएट करेगा. एंड यू नीड उतने से में यू कांट से दैट इसको सेपरेशन एंजाइटी डिसऑर्डर है. यू नीड इट टू बी मोर देन द डेवलपमेंट स्टेज एक्सपेक्ट्स, क्या कहते हैं, उनका रिएक्शन जितना. Though it's more common in children, a small percentage of adult, which is from 0.9 to 1.9%, also meet criteria for this order. Developmental course is basically how this separation anxiety disorder progresses in a person. A normal part of development, especially around age 1, but when it doesn't fade, क्या कहते हैं, or show up later in life, तो हम लोग इसको कहते हैं कि ये सेपरेशन एंजाइटी डिसऑर्डर ही है. इट कैन बिगिन इन प्री स्कूल या फिर चाइल्डहुड में, बट इट डजंट ऑलवेज स्टिक अराउंड क्या कहते हैं टू द टाइमलाइन. इट कैन स्टार्ट इन एडोलेसेंस या इवन इन अडल्टहुड. इनफैक्ट जो हाई इनकम कंट्रीज होती हैं वहाँ मीडियन एज ऑफ ऑनसेट इज लेट टीन्स, और क्या कहते हैं लोअर इनकम सेटिंग्स में इट इज अ बिट लेटर विच इज अराउंड मिड 20s. सिम्टम्स इसके आते जाते रहते हैं. often shift होता है how it shows up in people. For instance, basically क्या कहते हैं, बच्चे को अगर आप एक स्कूल में ड्रॉप ऑफ करोगे तो they can cry in that, but an adult won't do that, or a teen. While in adults क्या कहते हैं, avoiding travel या feeling panic when they are separated from their partner or their parent is seen. As the age increases, their anxiety may evolve into more specific fears or avoidance tied to separation. Adults में हम लोगों के जो स्पेसिफिकली देखा जाता है, you will see that it shows up when there's a life-changing event in your life-changing event. It can be moving out या फिर नए relationships में enter करना, or when someone close to you passes. Some grow out of it naturally, disorder से, but others जिनके यहाँ पे ये linger करता है, it can come back when you experience a lot of stress या instability. Risk and prognostic factors. This basically means कि कौन सी चीजें हैं जो एक इंसान को more likely कर देती है ये disorder क्या कहते हैं होने के लिए, या उसके progress को influence करती है. The basic one is environment. Often क्या कहते हैं मेजर स्ट्रेसफुल इवेंट्स आपकी लाइफ में, जैसे कि कोई डेथ या इलनेस टू अ लव्ड वन, डिवोर्स ऑफ योर पेरेंट्स, स्कूल चेंजेस या इमिग्रेशन, और बिगर थिंग्स लाइक डिसऑस्टर्स हैपन, तो ये आपके उसमें शो हो सकता है. Bullying is especially in childhood is also a major factor. और young adults में usually जो milestone moments होते हैं जो are very important, like when you're leaving home for college or you're changing homes or starting a serious relationship or having a kid, sets these things off. Next is an environmental factor के अंदर is your parenting style. If your parents were very overprotective and they kept you away from dangers, it can show up in you and you can be connected to your parents extremely, which will be diagnosed as separation anxiety disorder later. They unintentionally reinforce anxious behavior in that. Genetically, females are 73% more likely to inherit it and than men. Kids with SAD also tend to be more sensitive to CO2, which is linked to heightened fear response. A family history of anxiety disorder also significantly increases the risk. Differential diagnosis is just a fancy way of saying ki let's make sure we are not mistaking this for something else. A lot of disorders share similar symptoms, so it's important to figure out what's really going on. Separation anxiety can overlap with disorders like GAD, panic disorder, agoraphobia, conduct disorder, social anxiety disorder, PTSD, and many more. But हमें ये characterize करने के लिए कि separation anxiety disorder है, we need to see what's driving that fear, what's the core reason behind that fear we are experiencing. Like in GAD, it's more broader worry. And in panic disorder, it's sudden attacks. Agoraphobia में हमें जगाओ के लिए होता है. But in separation anxiety disorder, it is more focused on one person. It's more focused on one person और उससे attachment के उसमें दिक्कत. Functional consequences में हम लोग देखते हैं कि कैसे ये disorder लोगों की day-to-day life को disrupt करता है. This shows up in really specific ways, like you will avoid school, travel, or even work just to stay close to a person. Like a child who's attached to their mother or father, वो स्कूल नहीं जाना चाहेगा, सुबह जाते टाइम वो बहुत हल्ला करेगा. And in adults, people don't go out or they don't travel just to stay close to a person. Adults might reorganize their entire life around that person, or constantly they call and text to check in that the person they are attached to is safe. It gets in the way of independence, responsibility, or normal routine, or especially in places where being self-sufficient is expected. Mental disorders are rarely they travel solo. It's like a party, एक आएगा तो उसके साथ बहुत सारे अलग आएंगे. बच्चों में जनरली क्या कहते हैं सेपरेशन एंजाइटी के साथ GAD और स्पेसिफिक फोबियाज आता है. Adults के साथ it frequently reoccurs with specific phobia, PTSD, panic disorder, GAD, social anxiety. Cluster C personality disorder, जो कि is dependent, avoidant और obsessive compulsive, वो भी इसके अंदर आता है. Depression and bipolar disorders are also seen in people with SA. Do we have any questions?
No, I think this was self-explanatory
Right.
for me.
Yes,
No, actually, I had one question. With the nature of how separation usually comes about, and knowing how comorbidity usually means that tumhara two or more disorders come with each other, can you just explain like personality disorder ka jo scene hai? I think personality ka to pura different ही होता है. So how is personality associated with separation? So can I just get that?
From a young age, जब क्या कहते हैं, you're connected to a person, you don't go out and you don't, अच्छे से तुम्हारा exposure नहीं होता चीजों से, and you don't learn. I'm not getting the right word. I'm sorry. Development नहीं होता, and you become overly avoidant or dependent. उसकी वजह से बहुत सारे personality में आपके issues आएंगे, and this is a specific personality cluster C type जो इन लोगों में ज्यादा दिखता है. Was I able to clear that? I don't think so.
समझ गया. Like childhood influence makes the whole
हाँ,
personality
ये
get shaken.
हाँ, तो बच्चे डेवलप भी नहीं होंगे, बाहर जाके एक्सपीरियंसेस नहीं लेंगे, बिकॉज दे आर अफ्रेड कि वो अपने घर से जाएंगे. अगर वी आर अज्यूमिंग दे आर अटैच्ड टू देयर पेरेंट्स, तो अगर वो घर से जाएंगे तो दे आर अफ्रेड कि हम लोग जाएंगे तो उनको कुछ हो जाएगा या दे वोंट बी प्रेजेंट. तो उनका डेवलपमेंट हो ही नहीं पाता बिकॉज दे आर अटैच्ड एंड दे स्टे एट देयर होम्स.
समझ गया. Thank you. Okay then, all right people, we're gonna finish up with the last topic, selective mutism. अब यहाँ पे मुझे बस एक सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन पूछना है, यहाँ पे किस किस इंसान ने इस डिसऑर्डर के बारे में एक भी चीज सुना है? By general nature, most of the study material you see even in college and school, they don't actually teach us about mutism. ठीक है? So all three of you, one by one, explain what you believe this is. Soumya, Priyanka, then Lily.
Okay, selective mutism is when people cannot physically speak or interact in particular situations. I know this because I did a little bit of a case study on Big Bang Theory characters and their psychological disorders, and I visited selective mutism for Raj.
I was
Priyanka
going
and
to say the same
Yeah.
thing that you said.
yeah, it is pretty.
Big Bang Theory part or the or the like social part? ये तुम दोनों ही Big Bang Theory fans हो?
Big Bang Theory fan.
Yeah, like
Razinga.
मेरे को भी याद था कि यार राज को has something similar from the symptoms. I have not heard about the title of the disorder, to be very honest.
Which,
Like,
yes, thank you, Soumya. You're pretty much on the spot. अब बात ये है ना, अब थोड़ा सा इन डेप्थ देखते हैं. First of all, mutism literally comes from the word mute. उसको ism डाल दिया as the suffix is ism because like it's basically a situation where people act mute, like they don't want to speak. By nature, it's pretty much the failure to speak in special or any sort of social situation that you feel comfortable or uncomfortable in. अब ऐसा होता है ना, usually you diagnose this from childhood because you usually always see this in children. In adults, it's pretty hard to say anyone can get this because usually it's a childhood thing where you don't then get used to it. So adults may usually you barely ever see it, but it's still possible. Now, when it comes to the diagnostic criteria, यहाँ पे in the DSM-5, it's mentioned that the situations that are there, there have to be no exceptions unless we're talking about family. Okay, anyone you're directly very close to is usually allowed to be spoken with in a situation where someone has selective mutism. In cases में क्या होता है कि the person is anxious about talking to another individual in any circumstance, be it social, and that's how we start diagnosing such instances as selective mutism. Now, the criteria is that this has to take at least for 1 month, and the child should be no more older than 5. ठीक है? Again, as I previously have told you, 5 to 7 के बीच में the self and identity part comes in the individual. So 1 month का अंदर a psychologist has to observe, and then by that logic they will then characterize this as selective mutism. अब देखो, just because they have a failure to speak doesn't always mean that it's necessarily the case. ठीक है? In some instances, it could be a social situation where you're at a place where someone accent is different, or someone speaks with a little more finesse, a little bit more bigger words, bigger terminology. ठीक है? If I start talking with like Shashi Tharoor level language, ठीक है? तो समझ नहीं आएगा आधे लोगों को यहाँ पे. ठीक है? तो the reason why is that because हम लोग common language ज़्यादा अच्छे से जानते हैं. So you cannot categorize selective mutism in that instance. Same if the same if the social situation is in a place where the individual cannot be heard. Yes, this is a very obvious thing, but in actuality, both instances में even the DSM-5 mentions that not being able to hear the person is also a very big factor. Some people have a very monotone voice, which actually makes them not able to speak properly. तो वो ज़्यादा जोर से बोलते नहीं है, दूसरा आदमी ज़्यादा सही से सुनता नहीं है. That's pretty much it. And the last part I would actually want to ask the entire group a question. What is the difference between this selective mutism and any sort of speech disorder or communication disorder? मुझे बताओ, speech disorder and mutism में क्या difference है? I see Lily. Anyone else? Soumya? Priyanka? The Three Musketeers, okay. Okay, fine enough then. We'll start with Lily, then Soumya, then Priyanka. Go on.
So basically selective mutism में सबसे पहले तो ये बात होती है that you're selectively choosing not to speak in a particular social situation, right? स्पीच डिसऑर्डर में ये चीज नहीं होती है, उसमें तुम्हारी कॉम्प्रिहेंशन और अंडरस्टैंडिंग में ही इश्यूज होती है, एंड यू हैव प्रॉब्लम इन स्पीकिंग ऑफ दोस वर्ड्स एज वेल. यू आर नॉट एबल टू बेसिकली contextual knowledge जो होती है उनकी वो थोड़ी I'm not getting the correct word, but basically they're not able to understand the language or the word, and hence they're not able to make up that word. Their understanding is not very good is what I would say. That is why they're not able to speak. Not because they don't want to speak, but they're not able to speak because उन्हें वो चीज समझ ही नहीं आ रही है कि बोलने कैसे और उसको better understand कैसे करें. It is somewhat there, but exactly ये नहीं है.
Okay, good explanation. Soumya?
It's of course, as Lily mentioned, it's like selective mutism is situationally specific. Plus, it is accompanied with a sort of apprehension. Like why Wala's think why they can't actually speak is accompanied with a sort of apprehension. Maybe it's because of the fear of being judged or something like that. I think.
Okay, Priyanka.
Selective mutism is not something that like you have a safe space. तुम कहीं पे अच्छे से normally बोल सकते हो. You don't have a issue with your speech. People who have disorder with speech, they can't speak anywhere. Like basic example, not a speech के उससे, अगर you have problem pronouncing R, तो तुम्हें हर जगह R pronounce करने में problem होगी. But selective mutism is something जो तुम्हें particular situation में ही problem है.
Thank you for the explanations. I think you guys are getting to the point. But एक बहुत major things none of you actually mentioned. हम आज एक चीज बताओ, सब लोग मुझे बताओ, हम ये 3 दिन के लिए कौन सा मेन टॉपिक पढ़ने वाले हैं आज?
Anxiety disorders.
This is an anxiety disorder. Anxiety का बात यही है कि when it comes to mutism, you have an anxious feeling when it comes to social situations, and that's the root cause of any sort of mutic behavior. The lack of speech occurs because you are having anxious thoughts. ठीक है? अब these anxious thoughts are very much erratic. There's no select definition of these. When you ask the children what's happening and why they're not talking, they're anxious, no doubt. But you can never pinpoint why they're anxious. This is one of the biggest factors of selective mutism. ठीक है? Speech disorders, as you all explained nicely, कि speech disorders has some sort of criteria with it. कि you cannot say this, or there's something you cannot understand, or you cannot communicate with the other person. Because usually इसका एक बहुत biological emphasis बताया गया हमें, I think frontal and midbrain में, but बताया गया अच्छे से with the learning curve of the brain. तो you guys mentioned it greatly. Social वाला part यही है. Okay. And of course, with this whole thing, this is also how you can categorize this separately from anything like autism spectrum disorder or any other psychiatric disorder. By the nature of tumhara selective mutism, the individual will usually look like they're shy and like they're embarrassed of the situation. Aisa lagta hai. And when it comes to children in these cases, children who have selective mutism are very clingy to their parents. Okay, they have like compulsive traits to some extent, and they're very clingy to the parents or anyone they're very close to. ठीक है? Close friends does technically come under this, but वो बहुत ही different circumstances में तुम close friends को देखते हो. हमेशा family के साथ बहुत होती है, and not like cousins or grandparents. Grandparents तक नहीं जाती, unless grandparents उनकी जिंदगी में हमेशा से थे, जैसे Indian society में होती है. But usually parents के साथ बहुत clingy होते हैं. अब आपका ये बात आ गई कि when it comes to this disorder, over the years an individual might actually start having some negativity and temperament issues as well, because they cannot express themselves. The anxiety takes over so much that they cannot express themselves on how to speak. तो दिक्कत आ जाती है उनको. ठीक है? And yes, it's associated with communication disorders, but usually when you have a proper diagnosis, you can find the differences. And I think I want to go to the next slide. Development and course. As I already explained to you, 5 years के 5 साल की उम्र पे होती है and goes unnoticed until school entry. This is because school is the only place where a child goes where you can genuinely see stranger interaction properly. Duration varies, obviously. Some children improve naturally, especially with early intervention. हाँ, ऐसा नहीं होता कि mutism without intervention can never be fixed. Mutism is not autism. Autism में तुम्हारा क्या होता है कि तुम्हारे पूरी जिंदगी भर you need at least some sort of intervention. Mutism can genuinely be helped with and can genuinely be treated to such an extent that it's barely noticeable. वो बहुत early age से. And with the nature of mutism people actually have made theories that maybe mutism over time खुद से खत्म हो जाता है. That's very much false. The shyness and anger issues start piling up. जो anxiety में, तुम autism में देखते हो ना कि तो anger pile up होता है. The same logic applies here. Long-term outcomes depend on severity, comorbidity, association, and then family environment. Family environment का भी तो बाद में अच्छे से बात करेंगे. Even when mutism resolves, underlying social anxiety may even persist. Yes. Again, we do not know the root cause of the anxiety. As children, you can never properly explain why they're scared, but a sense of social anxiety is always noticed with this. ठीक है? But I would like to go to the next slide. अरे हमारा प्यारा सा वापस question. चलो गाइस बताओ इसमें टेम्परमेंटल का मतलब क्या है? वापस पहले पढ़ लो.
I would like some new.
Guys, I'm asking this question because the neurotism term is used there. I want to ask you guys कि neurotic इसमें कहाँ से आ रहा है? Temperamental में.
Neuroticism basically वही हो गया ना कि you are more prone to have develop negative emotions and so on, develop these disorders. But I'm still understanding कि neuroticism से इस disorder का risk क्या है?
I can guess. So I think Parth had mentioned to like some kind of anger issues, and like anger is kind of built into it just because you cannot communicate your opinions and thoughts. So if I'm not wrong, maybe neuroticism is a part of Big Five, right? So it can be like related to that people are more likely to fall on that spectrum rather than emotionally stable. Like maybe a lot of mood swings over.
No, definitely a very nice answer. I love the fact that तुमने ocean को यहाँ पे बीच में लाया and how you tried to, sorry, not oceans, Big Five को तुमने यहाँ पे बीच में लाया and you tried to make sure that you give an answer that could correlate with this. Very nice, thank you. Lily, you have your hand raised.
I think I understood now. Basically, you are talking about neuroticism. You basically are talking about कि you get affected with these negative emotions due to which you develop these disorders like anxiety and depression. And since selective mutism is a part of anxiety disorder, so due to that you may develop this disorder.
Both of you guys are close, like very close, but थोड़ा सा
हाँ, मैं
इसमें
hit नहीं कर
terminology
पा रही हूँ exactly. हाँ, terms I'm missing. I don't know the exact terms here.
Now let me explain this क्योंकि we have like half an hour left. Negative affectivity with neuroticism का basic मतलब ये है कि when you're looking into the aspect of emotions, you have an unstable relation with emotions to the point that you have a very uncontrollable aspect. Neuroticism का opposite क्या है? Emotional stability. You can control your emotions there, but here in neuroticism you cannot control your emotions. Neurotic people are the types who are like कि एक ही instance पे अगर कुछ भी feel हो रहा है उनको, sadness, anger, कुछ भी, they will extremely like बहुत ही high amounts में वो express करेंगे. How does this correlate with something that is basically like तुम mute हो, तुम बोल नहीं पा रहे हो किसी से? The simple thing is that anxiety है तुम्हें, social interaction का anxiety है, over time you feel like you cannot talk to anyone. Sometimes you feel like everyone hates you because the social anxiety aspect also makes it so that तुम्हें अंदर से लग रहा है कि लोग तुम्हें judge कर रहे हैं, लोग तुम्हें और पर बहुत बोल रहे हैं. So the neurotic aspect actually is that कि your ability to have emotions and control them goes out of the window over time, and you start feeling like you just want to express yourself in some way. So the mind will force you to try and get out with there. कुछ भी तुम्हारा होता है. And neurotic हमेशा actually तुम्हारा हमेशा negative emotions नहीं होता neurotism में. In some instances it could also be happy emotions as well. But behavioral inhibition जो है ना, behavioral inhibition is वही कि having difficulty with understanding क्या सही है क्या गलत है, उसी में तुम्हारा behaviorally तुम you make some risky decisions, that also comes in. And a family history of shyness and social anxiety and social withdrawal. Cultural aspect इसमें बहुत है. In Japanese society तुम बहुत ही देखोगे कि वहां पे कल्चर में you have to stay silent in many occasions. दी बहुत बोलचाल होती है, ऐसा नहीं कि बोलचाल नहीं होती, but in some instances where you're supposed to show respect, you're supposed to shut up. Indian society में when it comes to ritualistic days, there are many छठ पूजा. बिहार में, मेरा फैमिली बिहार से, तो छठ पूजा के समय many women and even men are told to stay silent. This is because you need to do it for ritualistic purposes. In such instances, you can culturally build an aspect of shyness and culturally build an aspect of social withdrawal. कि तुम दूर रहते हो. नॉर्थ ईस्ट में बहुत होता है social withdrawal वाला. So this aspect can actually like build up that emotional feelings कि तुम express नहीं कर पा रहे हो अपने आप को. That's the pretty much basis of it. ठीक है, तुम सब एक ही point पे आ रहे थे, पर एक point तुम लोगों ने properly miss किया, which was that the correlation between the two. And the correlation is that एक से build up होता है, एक से pile up होके निकलना चाहता है. Environmental, again, very, very self-explanatory. Parental over control, over protection, and social inhibition may model anxious behavior. Over controlling and over protection always has the nature of कि तुम्हें बाहर निकलना है पर तुम्हें फिर डर लगने लग जाता है. हाँ, एक rebellious वाला होता है पर इसके opposite होके कि तुम्हें डर लग रहा है, and that can inhibit the idea of getting selective mutism. ठीक है? These factors more prevalent in children who have selective mutism and other anxiety disorders. Yes, other anxiety disorders are very much correlated with mutism, especially in the environmental instance. Genetic में, because genetically this is a little bit scattered with this one. इसका बस यही है कि again the whole great grandfather से genetically आएगा वो बात है. And अगर तुम्हारे family में जैसे कम बोलने वाले shyness वाले बहुत है तो it's definitely present. Okay. So this, I hope you guys understood this part. Differential diagnosis. Again, differential diagnosis means that because you're trying to diagnose this selective mutism now, in many instances, you might accidentally diagnose other issues as well. Okay. Silent period in immigrant children's learning a second language. This is a thing that goes close to heart. For those who don't know, I was raised in the United States as a child. अब देखो, I was a 2-year-old and when I was there, तभी से मैंने बोलना शुरू किया था. मुझे टूटी फूटी हिंदी आती थी, बच्चा था, but तब से मैंने English अपनाया है, ठीक है? So my first language is technically English. So when I came back to India ना, मैं बहुत चुपचाप रहता था because बहुत बच्चे and I lived in गुड़गांव या फरीदाबाद I think था. तो वहाँ के बच्चों को ज़्यादा like English की चुल नहीं मचती थी. लोगों को बच्चे ही थे. Third grade में था. No one usually liked to speak in English. So it was a little difficult for me to like have a sort of like idea कि तुम्हें कैसे बोलना है. Of course, I later learned Hindi obviously, but still, this instance, had I taken this instance to another level, I would have probably been diagnosed with selective mutism under false pretenses. Okay, such instances can be seen. Of course, communication disorders, as I've already mentioned, कि देखो anxiety factor आती है तो mutism हो गया, and अगर brain में brain से related होता है, then usually it's a communication disorder. Neurodevelopmental disorders is by your developmental age, which is like 5, 4, and उससे भी थोड़ा पहले ही होता है. तुम्हारे इस एज में जब डिसऑर्डर्स बनने लगते हैं, ऑटिज्म, ADHD, यूजुअली ऑटिज्म से बहुत कोरिलेशन होती है इसकी, तुम बहुत देखते हो कि तुम्हारा उससे तुलना हो जाता है. म्यूटिज्म इज नॉट ऑटिज्म, बट लोग बहुत मिस्टेक कर लेते हैं इसको, एंड दैट कैन एक्चुअली बी डायग्नोस्ड एज ऑटिज्म. इसका बहुत बुरा एग्जांपल होता है जब तुम्हें मेडिकेशन दिया जाता है बच्चों को, नॉट बच्चों को बट बहुत लोगों को मेडिकेशन दिया जाता है ऑटिज्म के लिए, पर स्टेट में उनको म्यूटिज्म है, एंड म्यूटिज्म का कोई डिग्निफाइड मेडिकेशन नहीं है, बाय द वे. So such instances can happen. Schizophrenia again comes in just because of schizophrenia का अगर तुम लोगों को याद हो, उसका एक जो होता है negative symptoms. They have both positive and negative symptoms of schizophrenia. Negative symptoms में flat effect जब अगर तुम लोग को याद हो, it basically makes you dull and not able to speak. That is something that can be correlated with mutism. तो लोग psychologists can also mistake that as well. And of course, the biggest one, social anxiety disorder. Social anxiety, it's the basis of it. But social anxiety disorder is a little different. We'll talk about that in the coming days. Okay. Social anxiety में कुछ ना कुछ differences होता है. And those differences are the reason why you don't categorize mutism under that. I hope you understood. Next slide, please. Functional consequences of this is, if you see this, even in the DSM as well, it's directly mentioned that this is similar to autism in the case that often leads to significant social and academic difficulties, and with the avoidance of interactions, isolation ho jati hai logo mein. They struggle academically because they can't ask questions or express their needs. These children may also become targets of teasing and bullying. Ye to bhi hota hai. And over time, the lack of verbal engagement can reinforce avoidance behaviors. Of course, very much true. You can start like losing interest in being around people, and that might overall lead to isolation disorders. And of course, the silence becomes a way to manage overwhelming anxiety in a social situation. Basically, you're scared of a social situation so that you will not go to that social situation. Tumhara anxiety levels kuch zyada hi high hai. Tum nahi jana chahte usme. You're avoiding the main problem. And of course, as I've explained, over time hota hai to tumhara anger and emotional aspects tumhara sahi se nahi ho pata. Next slide, please. Comorbidity. Yeah, I cannot pronounce that for the life of me.
Comorbidity. There you go.
Yes, thank you. Comorbidity. God damn it. ठीक है. Now, as I already mentioned, most common is that social anxiety disorder. Yes, it is true that social anxiety से separate हो सकता है, but in many instances it will also be with it. Okay. Other common instances can also be with separation anxiety and specific phobia. Yes, that's also true. Phobia में भी कुछ है तो separation से connected है. And separation का भी जो nature है ना, separation में एक चीज समझ आना चाहिए तुम्हें कि while on a technicality, someone is gone from your life, that's how separation anxiety आती है. You can also see a mix of these two where तुम खुद ही निकल जाते हो अपने लाइफ से, वो उस इंसान के थ्रू, लाइक बच्चा अपने पेरेंट्स से खुद ही दूर हो जाता है, एंड उसी से उसका फिर वो सेपरेशन एंजाइटी प्लस म्यूटिज्म आ जाती है. इट्स अ वेरी लाइक स्ट्रेंज, इट्स अ वेरी लाइक इंटरेस्टिंग फिनोमेना दैट हैपेंस, and it's a very in-depth thing, so it's not like something you can always see in people. Oppositional behavior may be present but typically limited to situations requiring speech. You will not like act the same way you're supposed to in most social situations. That's the most simplest definition of it. इसमें ज़्यादा in-depth में सोचो मत, ठीक है. Communication delays or disorders may also be observed. Communication delays जो है, that's also a thing where I'm sure many of you might have heard this. Einstein could not speak until the age of 2, and such is called a communication delay. And such communication delays can actually exist till the ages of 10 or even like till teen years. Why this happens, there are so many reasons for this, but that can actually be overlapped with mutism. So I think that's it, unless there's another slide with it. Thank you. That's it from my side.